Man, Shinto is thirsty. Look at that dude.
Hello everyone, this is an analysis of the set Flame of Laevateinn for the Nightmare class. For any other classes, you can find them in the playlist. Okay, let's start with our first card. Just a reminder guys, I won't be reading all the effect word by word because that will take too long. I will just summarize the card effect, the pros and the cons, and my view on the card stand in the next meta. My view where the cards stand in the next meta. So for the first one, we have Dark Allies. Very good keywords combination, Rush and Strike. And on Strike, all your enemy players choose a card to discard from their hand. Pretty good, forcing them to discard a card. And it has a last word self-revive. So when she dies, you can banish the top 10 cards of your deck and summon this follower again. And then you discard the card from your hand. So the revive cost can be very costly because you have to banish 10 cards and you have to discard a card. But this is where it gets very, very interesting because if you read the card effect, banish the top 10 cards of your deck is the cost. Meaning that you have to banish top 10 cards or else you can't summon this follower. But the discard a card from your hand is not a cost. Meaning that if you do not have a hand, you can still summon her, which make her a very good last draw as survivor, where you can just banish 10 to keep her alive, and even if you have no hand. Yeah, so Dark Allies is gonna, I wouldn't say shift the meta, but it really gives a Nightmare a very interesting way of playing. And if she survive, or if you revive her and she still survive during your turn, she can right now hit the opponent face, and hitting for 6 is gonna be very painful for your opponent. So that's one thing to look out for. And by the way, right, Strike activates first before Quick, so your opponent do have to discard from their hand before they can in response to your Dark Allies attacking. Yes. So if they have only one card in hand that is a remover, and you decide to attack him, he can't cast the Quick spell. Yeah, that's something to remember, alright? So next we have Masquerade Ghost. Okay, sorry. I think Dark Allies is a very strong card. That's all. It is a very strong card, just that I do not know how people will be playing her. Or in fact, I do not know if people will be playing her. Alright? Next, Masquerade Ghost. It is a very... this card gave me a lot of questions. So, first of all, Ghost is a aggressive card from what we know from BPO1, BPO2. However, with Masquerade Ghost, it kind of make Ghost like a mid-range deck all of a sudden. So, first of all, the thing I don't like about this card is that, you know, the only buff followers that comes into play after this card doesn't buff on the board. So you can't really play this on turn 4, meaning that is you have to have a bit more mana in order to play those ghosts. But the thing is, this card is not bad because it does have self-preservation when you evolve it. The self-preservation is a new way of playing this. There's a new mechanic apparently. So last word, you put this follower in your EX area, meaning that this card doesn't send the graveyard, and when this in your EX area, you can cast the card again. But do note that the evolve follower that when this card is put into EX area, the evolve follower will go back into the evolve deck face up, meaning that you can't use that card again. That means you must use another of that card in the evolve deck face down to evolve next time. Okay, and then the good thing about the evolve is that it kind of make your ghost from aggro turns into defense. Yeah, from aggressive become defensive. So can be a very interesting way of playing Shadow. I do not know how strong this card is because, okay, here's the thing. You can combo this off with the ghost. Okay, attacking the face, you're hitting 2 with every ghost. if you can flood the board, that's 8 damage, and 8 damage is very painful. It's quite a lot of damage. During the next turn, during your end turn, those ghosts all of a sudden become Gargantua ghosts, and you can ward them to protect Masquerade Ghosts and protect yourself from your opponent attack next turn. And if you do have like 4 ward on the field, it can be very hard to get through. Yeah, so I'm curious to see how people will be playing this card, because I really can't see how good this card will become. Like in terms of mid range, like we're playing this on turn 7, turn 8 feels very weak compared to whatever cards Nightmare currently have. But yeah, I'm just going to be waiting for people to come up with decks for Masquerade Ghost. And yeah, the digital version for this card is actually very good. Yeah, so will it be the same for the Shadowverse Evolve? Only time then we can tell. So for this card, it's a big question mark for me, where I have no idea where this card stands currently in the next meta. Okay, next, Odile, Black Swan. Okay, so this card, right, on strike, it deals 2 damage to all enemy leader and all enemy follower. On fanfare, it does the same thing. Necro charge 20 against Storm. So, the board white is very alright, I guess. Dealing 2 damage AoE is, on fanfare, is not a lot. You can't really clear much stuff, to be honest, most of the time. But if you can strike on the turn you play the fanfare, you could remove quite a lot of stuff, in my opinion. Yeah, but that is you must be able to activate the strike. And in order for it to gain strike, or to trigger strike, she need to have Storm or Rush. But in order to get Storm, right, you need to Necro Charge 20. So I don't think you will be able to give her Storm when you play her on turn 5, because Necro Charge 20 is I highly doubt you can get Necro Charge 20 on turn 5. Yeah. Or before turn 5. Another thing. Okay, here's one thing. The AoE damage might be abysmal, but the face damage is actually quite a lot if you think about it. So when she comes to play, it deals 2 damage to face, which is quite a bit. And if she attacks, it's still an additional 2, and that's 4 damage. Imagine she does have Storm and she have open board. If she swing at opponent, she basically did 10 damage this turn. And if you combo with Azazel, so if you play this at Azazel, and it's just nice 10 mana if you calculate. So Azazel with Necro Charge becomes 3 mana. Then becomes 4 mana. Evolve for 1. Then after that, you change your opponent health to 10, and then you play Odile. Fanfare deals 2, Strike deals 2, she deals 6 to the enemy. So it is an OTK combo. Yeah. So this card can combo with Azazel, and I think this card will see quite a lot of play for the Fanfare and the Storm effect. Yeah. Because dealing 10 damage is actually very, very scary, and there is a lot of people playing with this card already. So we just have to wait and see. This card, I think, is very, very strong. Meta breaking, I think she might have a hand in shifting the meta, but I don't think she will be broken. Yeah, because any ward or any execution will just end that combo right there. Next, Demonium, Punk Devil. So 2 mana, 2/3 ward and Bane. A very good combination keyword again. Ward with Bane is very scary. Not a lot of people expect. Okay, Ward and Bane is a very good deterrence for opponent to attack your follower. Okay, but though you do have to pay 2 to key in the Bane, the last word heal backs the 2. So it's quite it's a very good card on its own. I can see this card being played in all the control Nightmare decks. Wouldn't I don't think I'll see it in aggro or mid range nightmare. Just control nightmare decks. I think this card will see play. Next, Basharus Peppy Ghosty. Okay, this card 1 mana 1/1. You evolve is against the self-preservation, same as the Masquerade Ghost. Yeah, so evolve 1 becomes a 2/2. The only way I see this card is good is with Masquerade Ghost and with Mini Soul Devil. So it's a cheap evolve with a cheap follower. It can really combo with Mini Soul Devil very well. But on its own, right, 1 mana 1/1 with no storm, paying 1 to evolve, it only gains 2/2 and doesn't do anything else. Alright, fan fact, if there's an ally Grandeur Ghost, you get to draw a card, and that's about it. So what I don't like about this card is, first of all, you need to evolve to gain the self-preservation, and you are wasting a evolve space for basically nothing. Yeah, so I kind of am wondering if this card is even good. Yeah, so I don't think this card will see much play. Even if it see plays, it's just for the Masquerade Ghost combo, and I think that's about it. Next, Demon Maestro, a very good draw card and crystal generator. If it survives the next turn, you can draw again, so it can draw multiple times. Once per turn, but yeah, if you survive, you can draw again next turn. The only problem is it has bad stats and can be easily removed. But still, yeah, you can draw multiple times. So you can compare this card with what is it called? Sorry, one moment. The only card you can compare is with Dire Bond. But Dire Bond, you'll be paying 3 mana to draw 2 cards. Demon Maestro, you're paying 2 mana and 4 life to draw 2 cards. Sorry, Dire Bond also requires you to play 1 life every time you draw a card for the effect. Yeah, so pick your poison, I guess. But most people are already looking at Demon Maestro with much better with a lot of better opinions. Yeah, where that Demon Maestro will definitely replace Dire Bond. Okay, next, Trombone Devil. Very good face damage with a great body, 5 mana 4/4, and 4 damage potentially in 4 face damage potentially in 1 turn. Because if Crimson active, you're able to deal 3 damage to a leader or an enemy follower. When you evolve, it straight away deals 1 damage to all leaders. So the only thing I have there is a big question mark is, will this card be too high of a cost? I think it might be, because a lot of hyper aggro nightmare don't really survive till turn 6. But with now Uma around, maybe they will play a bit more mid-rangey. And this will open up space for Trombone Devil, yeah. So that's about it. I think this card will see play if Aggro Nightmare decide to go more mid-range. And that's about it. Next, Furtifang, 1 mana. It is a cheat remover, but it requires setup and very dependent on the follower that you are targeting in order to be good. So if this card targets a goblin, the goblin is just going to deal 2 damage, which ain't a lot. But if this card hits something like Odile, that's going to deal 6 damage, it becomes a very good remover. So my problem with this is that, yeah, you really need to set up, and it really depend on your follower, yeah, to be good. When I see this card being played, I think you will see a bit, then you will drop out of favor. Yeah, that's my opinion on this card. I think at the starting you might see a few cards a few decks playing this, but after that they will drop it or reduce to like 1 or 2. Yeah, because of how inconsistent this card can be. Alright, next. Pumpkin Necromancer. A lot of question. Why Gargantuan Ghost? Why would I want a Gargantuan Ghost? And then next is that it doesn't affect the board when summoned. And why do I have to cast the Gargantuan Ghost again? Why? Okay, this card is just bad. Bad in many ways, man. Gargantuan Ghost doesn't have Storm, doesn't do anything, just as Ward, and it dies after that. Why would you want to play this card? Yeah, so this card, I don't think we'll see any play at all. Next, Parade Raven. 7 mana 6/6 is a good body stats. Good tempo cards because if you revive 5 cost or sorry, not 5 cost or more. So if 5 cost or less follower, you can summon quite a lot of good followers, and those followers usually have a very good stats such as Kawi. Usually you play Kawi, Soul Devil, all this. And because it says follower, it doesn't say that it has to be Nightmare. You can actually summon Olivia as well. So this card I think will be seeing play in a Necromancy deck for its tempo, and I think this card is quite strong. But I think it'll just be a 1 or 2 given that this card cost is quite high at 7 mana, but it's still a good card. Next, okay, Mischievous Zombie is a very question mark card to me as well. So same as Masquerade Ghost. Ghost is supposed to be aggressive, but in this sense, Ghost seems to be more of a remover. So 2 mana, 2/2, evolve, you give a Ghost Bane. And the evolve cost is 2, is quite expensive. And in order to have a ghost, you either summon a ghost before this, or you either have to manually summon a ghost or discard a card to summon a ghost. But the good thing is if you discard a deceased card, you can draw additional card. You can draw a card, not additional. You can draw a card to replenish the card that you just discard. So what I can say is, first of all, this is a 4 mana remover. Why won't you just play Execution? The next thing is that you are still wasting an evolve space just to give the Ghost Bane. Yeah, so I think this card ain't good, to be honest. Like, I can see you playing at 2 mana 2/2s for tempo, but yeah, this card is just not good in my opinion. I don't think it will see much play. Yeah. Okay, next, Float Demon, 3 mana 3/3, good stats, and if you discard a card, it gains Drain and +1 attack, and on its own it already gain Rush, meaning that it can trade pretty well. And if you can trade with something, you can gain 4 life, which is quite a lot. The only con is that you have to discard a card by randomly. Yeah, so you might discard a card that you want to keep. That's the only issue. But it is a strong card in control, in my opinion, against aggro decks. So you might see some decks running this card for control Nightmare. But other than that, I guess it's alright. Yeah, that's about it for this one. Next, okay, so for Infernal Orchestration, is a very question mark card. Like I said, I don't like cards that buff the next time you summon. I much prefer they buff something that is existing on the field. With that said, it is a Crimson Generator and a cheap buffer. Like 1 mana to give +1/+1 is actually quite decent. And one combo that stands out is this with Dark General, where at 6 mana you can play this, and Dark General will come in and swing for 5 mana, is it? I think Dark General is 4 mana. Yeah, I think Dark General is 4 mana. You at 5 mana you can deal 6 damage, and that's quite a lot of damage. Also, you could play this on turn 1 to make your turn 2 drops a lot bigger, but yeah, you will be wasting one card and wasting one health for that. So is it really worth that play? That's a big question mark. So I think this card will only be played with Dark General and nothing else, I guess. So that's about it. I think this card is quite weak. It's more on the weaker end, in my opinion. Yeah. And with that, I think that that's all for Nightmare. I will see you guys next time.